Parenthood is challenging enough as it is, and getting organized sounds easier said than done. Now combine these two together, and it's truly a balancing act that many of us struggle with day in, day out. If you're here, it's because you want to know how to get your life and home more organized and structured where the kids are involved too, so that parent life is a little easier and you can focus on what truly matters. Hey there, I'm Diane Jimenez, owner and founder of One Tidy Place. I created this podcast because I know parents have their hands full. I know this because I have 3 kids of my own. Each week, we'll talk about all things organizing, teaching kids life skills, and contributing to the home. Being on the same page with your partner and raising kids together. So while you tidy up, go out for a walk, or just need some real talk, I'm here for you. Thank you for tuning in. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hey there, welcome back to yet another episode of the Parenting Guide, Organizing Habits Made Easy podcast. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you're having a great week in getting things done. Or this week, you're committed to finding pockets of time in your busy schedule to insert some you time. Whichever it is, I hope it's serving you well and aligned with the goals you've set out for yourself. Now, before we get started, I just want to know if you've picked up my PO cheat sheet yet. With the school year almost coming to an end, and it's typically an indication that our schedules will be less hectic over the summer. This often gives people the opportunity to tackle those back burner projects, like your overstuffed closets, unorganized kitchens, or neglected garages. And what about that other bedroom where you just stuff everything in? So why not hire a professional organizer to help you out? Using my cheat sheet will help guide you to get your thoughts organized and ask those commonly missed questions. There are tons of pro organizers out there, and this cheat sheet will help you narrow down the right one for your project. So head to dianejimenez.com/PO cheat sheet. All in one word. That's dianejimenez.com/PO cheat sheet today. Okay, so I'm so excited to share this episode with you because it's talking about breaking down a very common and popular belief in the industry of home organizing. I'm talking about the belief that you need to clean your house or tidy it up before the professional organizer arrives for either their first session or not even, just for a consultation the very first time we talk in person or via video chat. I know it's super hard not to tidy up when company's coming. I don't blame you. We've all been there and been brought up that way. But here's the thing, professional organizers are not considered company. We're here to see your space as is, how you live it, and how that space is working for you or not working at all. So, are you ready to break down this belief with me? All right, let's go. So you need to clean your house or tidy it up before the professional organizer arrives. It's automatic. We were brought up to get things ready when guests arrive. It's like we were programmed to do that since way back when. But part of this could also be due to fear of judgment. And that's a valid feeling that can stem from a way deeper and more complex path that this episode is not about. I can tell you honestly that when you're hiring or even just talking with a professional organizer, and being one myself, there is no judgment, none at all. Just to show you some proof of this, here's an excerpt of my client's testimonial. I never felt judged about the mess hidden behind a drawer or a door. She understood me and my journey that had gotten me here. And that was so very important to me. Now, about cleaning up before we show up. When you're considering, or have so already, hiring a professional organizer, it's to help you with the disorganization and clutter in your home. And I'll say that last part again so it sinks in. A professional organizer is here to help you with the disorganization and clutter in your home. You're overwhelmed. Life is happening. Things are changing. More things are falling on your plate, and you can't keep up. So you finally decide you need help with all of this. Now, I'm not one to push the you should do this or you should do that. But in this case, after you've decided to call a pro organizer to help you, the very first thing you should do is congratulate yourself for step 1, being aware of something you need help with. You reached out and sought help. That is a huge step. So congrats for making that decision and taking action. Okay, so you believe that you need to clean your house or tidy it up before the professional organizer arrives, regardless if it's for a first session or a consultation. I'm here to lay it out straight, once and for all. Close the book on this thought or even belief. Don't clean up or tidy up your house before the professional home organizer arrives, because you're defeating the whole purpose of us being there. Another way of looking at it is, if you hired someone to help you get organized, why the heck are you organizing beforehand? Imagine you're about to spend your hard-earned money for a service that you're going to potentially do yourself. How does that even make any sense? If you need more proof about what I'm saying and it sounds a little off, or you still need some convincing, here are a couple of examples that I've personally experienced. When I go for consultations, either in person or virtually, I've seen and walked through homes that had clothes all over the floor. I wasn't sure if they were clean or dirty, but it was there. Up the stairs, down the stairs, hanging on the railings, piled on chairs and the beds, and even on dressers and lining the hallway. No, they weren't moving or in the middle of laundry. It's just the way they had their things. I've walked into kitchens where you couldn't even see the counters, they were so filled with stuff. And not only kitchen-related items either. Anything from anywhere. I've also walked into rooms that were floor to ceiling filled with boxes and papers, shelves filled with books and more boxes and stuff. You'd think that it was a garage or storage space, but it wasn't. It was a regular room inside a regular house, and it didn't end there. The back room and the bathroom were filled up too. You could barely see the other side of the room, let alone walk through to see the back. Heck, in my very own house, when my kids were just babies and toddlers, the room in our basement had everything from clear, large plastic bins with baby clothes inside them for the next baby, other bins for sizing up, and more bins for handing down to the younger sibling. We also had bins for bigger clothes, ones they wouldn't even be wearing for several years later. That room was also our storage room for regular household items, and where we kept the kids' toys. Even though they had toys everywhere else in the house, we had several bins in that room too. If you don't believe me, I've even posted a video about it on TikTok and Instagram Reels a while back, and it's so fitting to this topic I'm talking about today. I'll link both videos in this episode's show notes so you see what I mean. It took some guts for me to post my things and not actually say it was, but now I am, and it's strange, it's awkward and scary, but I want to be real with you, and this was our reality. Okay, moving on. Now, I know you know this already, but it's important to really understand and grasp this, especially when we're overwhelmed with all our stuff and we're anxious and feeling squeamish at the thought of having someone come over to help organize our things. I get it, but it's important to understand that everyone, and I mean everyone, even those with really nice houses or friends that look like they have all their poop together, everyone goes through rough and challenging seasons in their life. They can last a few months and well into several years later. And we all go through different levels of challenges, frustrations, and obstacles at different times in our lives that will result in our homes being cluttered and disorganized. So some typical examples of what contributes to this are getting a new job, changing jobs, retirement, and getting fired, having a new baby or babies, parents moving in, kids moving out, downsizing, or losing someone so dear to us. Then there's losing or gaining weight, changing lifestyles and getting into new hobbies, or even starting your own business. There are so many more reasons or circumstances for us to lose control of our belongings, our stuff. On top of that, trying to raise families, taking care of our aging parents, staying on top of our work stuff at home and outside of the house. Then there's taking care of ourselves, if we even think about that at all. Plus, we want to balance everything out with some social time too, right? We want to make time to see our friends, go out with other couples, or find a babysitter to be able to do any of this stuff. Life is just going. It's busy. Time keeps running out. So you're stressed and overwhelmed. So doing the bare minimum is all you can muster up to do these days. And then the days turn into weeks, then turn into months, and then years. If at this point you're curious to know where you stand, or just want to know how to go from drowning in clutter to peace of mind, grab my roadmap. I'll link it in the show notes. A client of mine wrote this in her review or testimonial after we worked together on getting her home organized. It's just an excerpt, but I thought it was very fitting regarding overwhelm and her busy life. She says, "It led me to overlook certain areas in my home. The mentality was, if I get it out of my sight, stuffed in a closet or a room with a door closed, that was good enough. Well, that was good enough for the old me. The old me was stressed, overworked, and grossly neglecting my mental health. It was, after all, survival mode." She continued to say, "There was enough laundry, cooking, and basic cleaning up to keep me exhausted. Going beyond that felt impossible." So you see, my dear friend, you are not alone. Okay, so back to closing the doors and breaking down the belief that you gotta clean your house before the pro organizer arrives. What should you do instead? Well, after you congratulate yourself for making that decision to reach out and book an appointment with a professional organizer, what you can do before they arrive are some of the following stuff. Number 1, make sure you let us know who will be at the house with you and if you own any pets, or let me be more specific. Are there any animals we should know about that are in your home? You may not be the owner or the one who cares for them usually, but someone in the house does. So make sure to let us know what's in your house. Number 2, do people smoke? Will we be working in a smoking environment? There are organizers who are super sensitive to smoke, pets, and all that. It's important to bring all of these things up. Number 3, is your place accessible? Do we park on the street or on your driveway? Do we need to pay for parking because you live in the city or in a building with very limited street parking? Are there a bunch of stairs to climb? Number 4, do you have kids? Yes? This is important to mention also, just like pets, because interruptions happen all the time. Now, imagine if the organizer is there charging you by the hour, or they need more information from you, but you're not always around. It can get a little awkward, not to mention expensive, and a little frustrating too. Now, this may seem like a lot and a tall order to remember. That's okay. You're taking notes, remember? I'm kidding. It doesn't hurt to take them though, right? But when you do have that initial chat with a pro organizer, they might be asking you the same or similar questions. And if they don't or forget to, because it can happen, that's okay. You've got them covered. And that's another pat on the back for yourself for being ready and meeting them halfway. Another step closer to less overwhelm and getting organized. At this point of this episode, if you're in the midst of shopping for an organizer and haven't found one yet, but still need to organize and get your own thoughts straightened out before sitting in for a consultation and seeing someone, listen to podcast number 7, Things You Need to Know Before Hiring a Professional Organizer. I'll link it in the show notes also. Well, that's it for me. I hope you found today's episode helpful and got 1 or 2 takeaways from it. If you liked this episode or found it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on wherever you're listening to this podcast and be the first to know when the next episode releases. Also, if you found that my tips or examples on today's episode will help guide a friend or 2, then by all means, please copy-paste the link of this episode and text it to them. I'd be forever grateful to you for helping me share what I know and love to teach. My mission is to help as many parents out there with organizing their life and home, all while balancing the parenting life journey. So you never know what positive changes you're helping to make in their lives too. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Don't forget to grab my cheat sheet to help you on your next consultation. All right, my friend, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.